The O. Henry Playhouse presents The Hypotheses of Failure. O. Henry told his stories in a manner which permitted readers to find self-identification with either a character in his story or through a character's reaction to a given set of circumstances. Once self-identification was found, the reader soon discovered the moral O. Henry had planted. Perhaps no single story offers greater opportunity for self-identification or a more important moral than O. Henry's The Hypotheses of Failure.
Not much of a gathering.
Maybe she wants to keep it exclusive.
You don't launch a national sales campaign by keeping it exclusive.
It did look a little like rain. That'd keep people away. And this is Susanville, you know, not New York.
Nice try, O. Henry.
Well, how do you account for it?
I don't know. I don't even see the author here.
Oh, about this, what's her name? Billings?
Constantine Bellows.
Constantine Bellows? You evidently like her work.
I know very little more about her than I was able to fathom from her manuscript. She had a wonderful message to deliver, and I was willing to gamble the public would pay to receive it.
Well, what's the theme of the story?
Matrimony, the divinity of marriage, the home as its sanctuary. A very stabilizing force in this modern era of recklessness.
Coming from a bachelor, that's an interesting statement.
Well, you don't have to belong to the police force to believe in law and order.
Oh, I suppose not.
Women like Constantine Bellows are the backbone of decent society. People who believe there's something sacred in marriage. I am hopeful that her novel will spread this philosophy to the many who need it.
Colonel, I congratulate you. And I bow my head in respect. I think your office has arrived.
Her entrance was greeted by a loud silence.
Suppose that indicates how a book will sell?
Author! Author!
Who's the gentleman with her?
I don't know. I hope one of them is her husband.
You might be in luck, Colonel. Maybe she's married to both. Let's pay our respects.
No word from O. Henry yet? I know, but he was due back from Susanville 2 hours ago. Get me Constantine Bellows. Maybe she knows. Good, send him in.
My dear Colonel. How are you?
O. Henry, I have 50,000 of these ready for distribution. 50,000 sanctuaries I may have to eat sentence by sentence. Excuse me if I don't waste any time. Can I distribute this novel? That's all I want to know. That's why I left you in Susanville.
Don't see why not. You bought the rights, didn't you?
That isn't the point, and you know it. The point is, how can I merchandise a treatise on the sanctity of marriage when the writer's own marriage has come apart at the seams?
That's a very astute question.
Well, I'm waiting for an answer, as are 50,000 copies of Sanctuary of Love.
Let's see what you have to worry about. Back in Susanville, you convinced me that this novel is your own personal contribution to a saner, healthier civilization. A crusade to strengthen the bonds of matrimony. To make stronger and to reinforce the tottering foundations of the American home. A sort of public service to humanity with the compliments of Derbin and Company. Now, all that beautiful philosophy has dwindled into a matter of profit and loss. I'm ashamed of you, Colonel.
I'm perfectly willing to feed the sociological breadline up to a point, but I certainly expect them to leave me the crumbs.
All right, then, here's my report on assignment Susanville. You remember when Mrs. Billings and her 2 escorts came into the reception room, we decided to pay our respects?
My dear, dear Colonel, how simply divine of you to come.
I wouldn't have missed it for anything.
Oh, you are a darling, Colonel, just a darling of a darling. I can't tell you how delighted I am.
I'd like to have you meet a friend of mine. This is Mr. O. Henry. Undoubtedly, you've heard of him.
Oh, yes, indeed, I have. You're a publisher, aren't you, Mr. O. Henry?
Mr. O. Henry is an author.
Oh, how perfectly thrilling. What novels have you written?
Well, I write short stories, Mrs. Bellings. I hope to write a novel someday.
You will. All it takes is talent.
Constantine, those two gentlemen behind you, is one of them your husband?
Oh, how thoughtless of me. Darlings, do come and meet some friends of mine. You've heard me speak of my publisher, Colonel Derbin. This is Colonel Derbin and his friend, Mr. O. Henry. Mr. O. Henry aspires to write a novel someday.
I'm a great admirer of yours, Mr. O'Henry. I've just about read everything you've written.
Oh, I'm very pleased.
They're fine short stories. You should be very proud of them.
Well, a few of them are missed, but I guess we all make mistakes.
Yes, you're right about that. I'd certainly like a second chance to correct some of mine.
Well, shall we have some hot tea?
I don't think we're in the mood for tea, are we?
I guess not, dear.
Why don't you have your tea with Colonel Derbin, Mr. O. Henry? We'll join you later.
All right.
Excuse us.
Excuse me. Oh, Henry, I'm frightfully worried.
Why?
Well, it's perfectly obvious that that man isn't her husband.
What makes you so certain?
I'm a man of the world, O. Henry. And being such, it's very easy to tell a husband from let us say, a special kind of friend.
You amaze me, Colonel. Are you ready now for that hot tea?
Nice party. Not bad. Well, what do you think of the novel? It depends if you're married.
Does that make a difference?
Read it, and you'll find out.
But I thought this book was a great champion of marriage. Understood that was why Mrs. Bellings wrote it.
I guess so, but obviously Constantine doesn't practice what she preaches, either in marriage or in just living life. Without consideration and understanding, there's nothing. Take it from me, I know.
Well, you certainly sound as if you knew.
That man, so dignified looking. But believe me, under those clothes beats a heart of indifference. He doesn't care who he hurts as long as he has his way. But don't you think many times a small adjustment here and there can save something that appears to be hopeless? Normally, yes. But it's difficult to make Constantine adjust to anything. Well, have you really tried? Are you sure you've done everything possible? I've never worked harder at anything in my whole life. But I don't know why I'm telling you these things. You're a complete stranger. I guess I just had to talk to someone. I understand. But don't give up. If there's a chance, fight it all the way. Thank you. You're very kind.
Won't you have some tea now while it's still warm?
If you don't mind, I'd prefer some fresh air. I'm beginning to feel quite strange about Mrs. Bellings' marriage. Will you excuse me?
Don't you realize someone might see us?
What difference would that make? I'm in the mood to be kissed.
Now, Constantine, I want you to know that this demonstration of affection won't change my mind. I've told you exactly how I feel about everything.
Darling, please. We've been over it all so many times. I know it by heart. For today, let's just forget about everything except ourselves.
Yes, but last night you said...
Please. Now, let me pretend. I'll close my eyes and pretend. The effect will be the same. Kiss me.
Now, what would your guests think if they saw us behaving like this?
I don't care about my guests. Besides, does any woman have a better right to your kisses? Well, does she?
No. Of course not.
Oh, Henry, have you any idea what's going on in this sanctuary of love?
Not in the least.
Why, she's out on that terrace in this very moment in the arms of that man. If there's a chance in the world of his messing up her marriage, I can't risk distributing her novel. I've gone too far out on a limb already.
Oh, maybe now you're worrying without cause.
I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you.
Remember, Colonel, there's an old saying, don't always believe what you see.
I want you to stay here in Susanville for a day or two and find out all you can about this woman and that man.
Why don't you hire a detective?
Well, that's snooping. I consider that very distasteful.
And just what do you name what you're asking me to do?
Under your contract, you have another story due on the 23rd. I'll tell you what I want.
The story of a woman whose latest novel on marriage may be doomed because of a romantic triangle that threatens her own marriage.
Set it in a small town. Susanville. I'll see you in New York.
Do I sense a lack of interest on your part?
You do. In case your memory has failed you, I was with you in Susanville. I know all this. Why do I have to go through it again?
Just trying to kill two birds with one stone. If this is to be my next short story, I thought you'd like to hear it from the beginning.
If you'll forgive me, at the moment, I'm much more concerned with my story than with yours. Now, will you kindly tell me what you learned about this romantic triangle after I left?
You shouldn't have left. Turned out to be very amusing.
Just the facts, please.
All right, Colonel. The facts just as they shall be recorded for posterity. Now, after you decided this was a romantic triangle, the next question was, what could we do about it? So I decided on a plan of rehabilitation. Restore the marriage and save her novel.
Excellent logic. I knew you'd come up with something.
I did. I concentrated on the pathetic little fellow. You know, after you told me about your suspicions, I felt sorry for the little guy.
The husband. He was the proper one to talk to. Poor little man. I imagine he was able to tell you a great deal.
Not right away. I couldn't find him. Until one of the guests told me the last she saw of Mrs. Bellings was out on the terrace with her husband. So I headed for the terrace. I found the little guy and Constantine.
I've made up my mind and nothing's going to change it. After all the years we've been together, you should certainly know me well enough to realize I mean what I say.
I do, but I beg you to consider me. Consider my feelings as well as yours.
It's just what I've always done. But now you're asking too much. I just can't do it. Don't you understand? It isn't that I don't love you. It's just that I love him more.
But you have so much. Beauty, love, and in a short time, because of your novel, you'll have fame. I, on the other hand, have nothing, especially if you desert me.
I know. Believe me, I've tried to see it your way. I've tried to explain it to him. I've even tried to stay away from it. But I can't. When he touches me, I suddenly come alive. And when he kisses me, nothing else matters. I'm sorry I can't discuss it with him again.
All right, Constantine. I'll never say another word. And regardless of what happens to me, I'll always love you.
I do wish there was another way.
I knew it. Poor little man. Why must there always be men lurking in the shadows, waiting to break up a marriage?
I don't know, Colonel. But I was hopeful, being a man of the world, you'd have that answer.
I've seen it happen so many times. And sophisticated though I am, I still regret seeing a marriage destroyed by a soft-talking man. But I must say I was rather pleased to be able immediately to sense the problem before releasing the novel. This way I'll lose some money, but at least I won't end up the laughingstock of Publishers Row.
You not only sensed the problem, but within a very few minutes, you mentally drew the entire picture.
Experience, O. Henry, a wise and sometimes bitter teacher, but there's no substitute for it.
Uh-huh. Well, shall I continue the story, or have you guessed the ending?
Well, regardless whether I have or not, I owe it to you to hear you out.
Well, thank you, Colonel. That's very kind indeed. Well, I try to think like you. And I realize that to a person like Constantine, her career would be more important than love.
Excellent, excellent.
So I decided to visit her at her home and explain your fear of the career she would lose if she didn't settle for just old-fashioned love. I was ushered into the library, and I must say, Colonel, I was frightfully embarrassed. As I waited for Mrs. Bellings, I began to wonder just what I could say and how I could say it without offending her or being forcibly ejected from her home. For the first time in my life, I couldn't find the right words, nor could I shake the feeling of not only being an intruder, but the type of intruder who can't mind his own business. I realized I had no right to place myself in a position where I was telling someone how to live a life. I tried to find comfort in the fact that I was not there for myself, but because you had made me your spokesman. And I admit, that thought didn't help me at all. I was about to leave with my mission unaccomplished when I found myself confronted with the entire triumvirate.
Why, Mr. O'Henry, what a delightful surprise. Won't you sit down? I thought that you had returned to New York.
Well, Colonel Derbin was so impressed with your lovely community, he asked me to linger for a story.
What a divine idea. What can we contribute to your story?
Well, I must explain that this is the most unusual story I have ever undertaken. It calls for a unique approach.
Fascinating.
Now, the information I need takes the form of two distinct viewpoints, the man and the woman's. Since these must be undiluted expressions, I'd like to talk to each one of you privately.
Very well. Who should be first?
That gentleman there.
All right. Come on, dear. You better wait in the living room. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
I know how much this means to you. I'll do everything I can to help.
That's very good of you, but I'm afraid it's too late.
Never too late.
Please try to impress that on her.
Well, Mr. Henry, what can I tell you?
Now, as you undoubtedly know, Constantine Bellows is a name that will soon be revered throughout the civilized world. She's on the threshold of a great career.
So I understand.
However, there's an element that might prevent that. Destroy everything she's worked so hard to achieve.
Indeed?
I'll come to the point. The fate of her career rests squarely with you.
How do you mean?
The Sanctuary of Love is not merely a novel, it's a sacred treatise on marriage. A woman's heroic crusade to reinforce the very foundations of our civilization. Now, what would happen to those foundations if the public learned that the author's own marriage might be on the rocks?
That's ridiculous. Nothing like that's going to happen.
Please, no marriage can be sustained if it lacks understanding.
Never occurred to me that Constantine might feel that way about it. I see your point.
I'm happy that you do. And regardless of what the difficulty might be to you, I ask you to consider the beauty of her book. I ask you to respect it and not to allow anything to destroy its great message.
Do you realize what a great sacrifice you're asking of me?
But this is not the fate of merely two persons. Once the book is published and the public takes it to its heart, the name Constantine Bellows will become a byword. Now, do you think it's fair to cheat the entire nation? Do you think you have the right to put your own selfish desires above the nation?
When you put it to me that way, I have no choice.
I knew I could count on you.
This is one of the most difficult things I've ever been asked to do in my entire life. But you have my word.
You're a big man, sir. I think we may call the others in now.
All right. Would you both please come in now?
Mrs. Bellings, At the risk of being terribly presumptuous, Colonel Derbin has asked me to discuss a very private matter with you. I want you to understand he has no desire to invade your private affairs. But as the famous novelist you are about to become, your affairs are no longer private. They belong to the public. So for the sake of your career and for Colonel Derbin, who has displayed remarkable courage in publishing your book...
Oh, the price of fame. I understand. Feel free to speak, my dear Mr. O'Henry.
Thank you. At the moment, the Colonel feels that you are romantically involved with two men. He wants you to stay with your husband and give this man up.
Oh, no!
Must have been an embarrassing moment for you. You handled it admirably. I doubt if I could have said it better.
That's very gratifying, but in the future, Colonel, when you have ideas about people, I want you to do your own pursuing.
I've got to hand it to you. You saved Sanctuary of Love for eternity. Now I can distribute the novel without any fear of embarrassment. Though I admit I'm sorry Constantine Bellows is such a hypocrite.
Hold on, Colonel. You're assuming Constantine chose a career in lieu of love. Why?
Experience again. Just as I instinctively knew her marriage was in jeopardy, I know how a woman like that reacts to an offer of fame and fortune.
I wish you'd been there to hear her answer.
Why? What do you mean?
For the longest moment, there was a deadly silence in the room. Mrs. Billings was horror-stricken, and I must admit I felt very uncomfortable.
Mr. O'Henry, am I to understand that you made this startling disclosure at the behest of your publisher, Colonel Derbin?
That is correct. The Colonel feels that it would be unfair to sell her readers a cause which she's getting ready to desert.
In other words, he feels that I am Mrs. Bellings' lover?
Colonel is a cautious man. I doubt that he would use that word. But he saw you and Mrs. Bellings on the terrace. And what he witnessed made 2 and 2 equal much more than 4.
Then he is a very poor mathematician. What he saw was a scene between a husband and wife. You see, Mr. O'Henry, this is my husband, Jessup Bellings. And this is my brother, Charles.
Oh. Well, no doubt there's a very simple explanation for what seemed a triangular situation. For example, I happened to overhear you talking to Charles, and it sounded much like a woman in love with another man.
But it wasn't. I was pleading with my sister to again approach her husband to try to persuade him to lend me $5,000 so I can go to Paris and study art for a year. He's been terribly stubborn about it. He dismisses it by saying I'm too old to play with paints and wear a beret.
And as for me, Mr. O'Henry, will you please take a message to your publisher?
With pleasure.
Will you tell him that what he overheard was the result of my resistance? Yes, Constantine's book is brilliant, and it's a true account of our marriage. I resented its publication because I was jealous of sharing our lives with the world. But now, after what you've told me, I feel that it should be done, and I'm ready that it be done. For I know that such a book can well save many marriages.
Please forgive me. I should have known better.
Don't think about it, Mr. O'Henry. In fact, it's rather a compliment. Suddenly to find yourself accused of misconduct because you've been seen kissing your own husband. I think I'll write my next book on that very subject.
That's a wonderful idea, and you make the Colonel publish it.
Charles, perhaps I've been wrong. Maybe you're not too old to play with paints or to wear a beret. When can you leave for Paris?
Jessup, I'm all packed. I can leave tomorrow.
Now do you see how I was able to write Sanctuary of Love, Mr. O'Henry?
I'm shocked beyond words. Do you mean I was wrong about everything? But I saw them together. I heard their conversation.
Mm-hmm. And like a great many people, you'll let your imagination run away with you. You know, It's important, Colonel, no matter what you see, to be sure of your facts before you convict anybody of anything.
How can I ever face Constantine Bellows again?
Well, fortunately, she has a remarkable sense of humor. Send her a note of apology and don't delay distributing her book. You know, you're a lucky man, Colonel. Think what might have happened if your man-of-the-world experience had proved to be right.